welcome back. Okay, now it's time for the toughest song that I had to deal with, and this one was called Force 10. I wasn't really aware of it when I heard it, but when I did listen to the original, I was like, man, that is a cool song. So at first I was like freaking out because I didn't know how I'm going to make this. How can you make something that's perfect more perfect? You can't. You just can't. So you just interpret it in your own way, as I did. Now, there's a lot of keyboards in this song. Lots. And I did not want to use any keyboards. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just didn't want to use them in this song. So I was thinking, what could I do to emulate a keyboard-type sound somehow, but that's going to make it cool and sounds unique to what I do. There was a track I've done in the past on a Jason Becker tribute album that was put out from Lion Music, which was a song called Higher, in which I emulated a bunch of monks chanting with an EBow. I don't have the device right now because I rented it when I did. I didn't even own it. So if you come on in closer here, you'll see that if I point to you right here, you'll see channel 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, exactly. I used an EBow. So what I did was I stubbed them all down to a stem right here. I'm going to let you hear this EBow track, which is going to come up right here. I'll blow it up a little bit. And what the EBow is going to do is it's going to make it, basically, I played like 3 or 4 part harmony. It's going to make it sound my emulation of a keyboard. So these are all mixed together. Here's the sound of it. All the vibratos are equal. And that's the emulation of the keyboard sound that I used inside of this song. Gives it a nice haunting quality. I put a good amount of delay on it and reverb on it when I printed the file. That was my way around getting the keyboards to sound really cool. There was a very difficult part to play in here when a time changes, because there's also time changes that's happening inside the song. And there was a delay part that was bouncing around pretty crazily here. I'm going to open this one up so you can hear this. It was hard to get this delay in time just because it was a faster delay repeat. And I'll let you hear it. It's using a clean guitar right here. That's this track right here. And that's stereo. Right now you can't hear in stereo out there in computer land, unfortunately, but it sounds pretty freaking cool where I'm standing right now. And that's going along with the EBow stem, so I put those two on together. Check this out. I love that. That's the part that goes, look into the eye of the storm. It's a really cool part in the song. In this one, I really wanted the drums to be very heavy in a certain section, so here, I actually, believe it or not, I got a MIDI file of the drums. They're happening right here. I got a MIDI file of the drum tracks from Guitar Pro. It's like a tablature site, and I just took the MIDI file of the drums. I was thinking, how the hell can I do this without programming all that crap, because there's so much to do, and my scheming mind, furbo, also in Italian means, you know, devious a little bit, thought, how can I do this quickly? So I got a Guitar Pro file, stole the MIDI file, imported it in here, and then hooked some drums up to it, and listened to the drum sounds. Of course, it's cheesy MIDI drums, but it enabled me to be able to record the parts with it. You know, they'll be replaced later, but I was able to then put my heavy guitars with this section, which sounds like this, which is pretty badass, I think. Here we go. Here it comes. Heavy guitars again. Tight, super tight. I made this amazingly tight. I worked very hard to make it meticulous on my guitar playing. Here comes the section I told you about with the EBows and the rhythm guitar delay. So, this was a heck of a song to kind of put together, and I'm sure equally as challenging for the bass player and drummer to put their parts on. Once again, the pitch is dropped. I heard, unfortunately, that when I dropped the pitch, I didn't even think about it. The vocalists were going to probably have a hell of a time singing Geddy's parts, which I didn't even think about. So if you're watching this and you're one of the vocalists that I screwed up, I apologize for that. I didn't think about that. I was just making it heavy. But I heard the vocals, and it all turned out really happening. So that is how I kind of put the project together in level of difficulty 1, 2, and 3 in the songs. So I'll be back in a little bit to tell you a little bit more information on some other questions that were asked to me. Until then, Okay, my influence of Rush started with a buddy of mine's brother. His name was Rudy Carrick, and he had the cool Hemispheres pictures, and the drummers I was with, like, you gotta check this out, you gotta check this out. So I never really got totally into it, and I did go to a Rush concert or two. That still didn't get me into it, but what got me into it totally was my parents decided to torture me at the time, I thought, taking me on I think it was about a month and a half trip across Canada and the entire states of America. And you know, who would say that's an amazing thing, but I was like 15, I think 16, rebelling against my parents. I wanted to play guitar all the time. So what does it have to do with Rush? So in this pickup truck we had, my brother and I had wired in these speakers from the back, basically hooked them in the back of the truck where we had two captain's chairs set up, and we would beat the shit out of each other back there. So we would pass these tapes back and forth, cassette tapes, yes I said cassette tapes, back and forth through the window. And we would pass stuff like Megadeth, there'd be Raven, Annihilator, Anthrax, Halloween, remember that one, that was cool. But on top of it all was Rush, 2112. What an amazing record. I remember one of the songs in particular named Discovery. You actually hear someone finding a guitar. It's like under waterfalls or in a cave or something. They find it, tune it up, and as he's tuning it, then he starts to play it and he starts to build a song, which is a really cool idea. So I feel very humbled to be part of this project. That's how I kind of got into Rush. I enjoyed showing you my studio, how I made the tracks happen. Hopefully you'll pick up the album and check it out. My name is Dave Martone again, and thanks for visiting. Talk to you soon.